highlight of every child's trip to the mall is being able to visit one of your colourful, vibrant and playful Toys R Us stores. In the toy industry, it is these interactions that children have with the toys which shape their preferences and drive demand in the industry. Without a strong online presence, Toys R Us risks incurring the cost of helping to drive this demand for toys, but risks losing out on sales and revenue. Toys R Us needs to act now in order to develop a strong online presence and brand in order to be able to survive in the toy industry. Today you've asked us, how should Toys R Us implement an e-commerce strategy in Asia and in particular in Hong Kong? In order to launch successfully in Asia, it needs to do two things. Firstly, adopt a dual platform online approach, and secondly, enhance its brand as the home of toys and drive customer loyalty. Toys R Us's business is rooted in its traditional brick and mortar stores. In fact, in Asia, this accounts for over 90% of your entire sales. Your foray into online retailing in Asia has been extremely cautious. You've entered into the online market in a number of different countries to utilising existing online platforms. However, in Hong Kong, you have an online website, but you don't offer online shopping. If you don't offer online shopping, then you risk losing out on your online sales to well-established online retailers such as Amazon and eBay. Therefore today we present our strategy, Online Toy Box. Under this strategy, Toys R Us will adopt a dual online platform approach. This means two things. Firstly, you'll sell a selection of your top-selling toys on an existing platform online in Hong Kong, similar to that of Tmall and Taobao in China. Secondly, you'll revamp and redesign your online website in order to accommodate for online shopping. This new online website will have two portals. The first portal is for parents. This will consist of the online shopping portion of your website, as well as provide a new selection of educational toys that they may wish to purchase for their children. The second portal on your online store is for children, where they will be able to play games which relate to the toys that you are selling. By implementing our strategy Online Toy Box, Toys R Us can expect to see almost an $18 million increase in revenue from the online toy sales in Hong Kong. But more than that, it will have asserted its brand as the home of toys and will have a strong online model which can further implement in other countries in Asia. That was an overview of our strategy, and I'll now pass to Victoria and Hayden who will talk through our analysis and strategy.
In analysing your company today, we have identified three key issues. The first of those is the fact that the toy market is a maturing market. The second is the importance of physical interaction within the toy market. And the third is the nature of online retail.
The first issue is the fact that Toys R Us is operating in a maturing industry. At its inception, Toys R Us provided toys for children from their birth right through to their teens. However, with technological increases, children are switching to entertainment online or on iPad or mobile applications at an increasingly earlier age, reducing the demand for physical toys. There are two impacts of this. The most crucial one is the fact that you need to retain your market leadership position. This is to maintain the revenue and the growth that you've seen in the past in this declining industry. The second impact of this is that you must continue to be competitive on price. Being the market leader means that you can demand the greatest quantity of product from your key suppliers, such as Hasbro and Mattel. By doing so, you can gain economies of scale and provide toys at the most competitive prices. Having a dominant and meaningful online strategy to support this is crucial in maintaining that leading market share.
So the second key issue is that surrounding the importance of physical interaction when children select toys. Children tend to be fickle and have short attention spans, and therefore constantly on the lookout to purchase new toys. When they go through the selection criteria for a new toy, they're heavily influenced by a range of factors. These range from TV, what they see on TV, what they see in the movies, as well as what their peers are currently using. But most importantly, it is how the children are able to interact with these toys, whether they get a feeling for the functionality, what the toys do, and how they look. This means that Toys R Us plays a physical and an integral role with their physical stores, with children being able to actually feel and see these toys. This has two impacts. The first impact is that you play an integral part in the marketing of any key toy manufacturer. And second is that you need to drive people to these physical stores in order to increase your own revenue and the revenue of those online sales.
The final issue we identified that informed our analysis today is that around the nature of online shopping. As you're well aware, an increasing amount of purchases are now made online. However, as Hayden's identified, a lot of those sales come from children coming into the store, playing with the toys, nagging to their parents about which one they want, and then their parents subsequently making the purchase online at home. By not having an online presence, you're incurring the costs of having a physical store, but not extracting the value. You're missing out on sales in two key areas. Firstly, the sales from those people that use Toys R Us as a bit of a toy library. Those that come, see the physical store and make the purchase online through a competitor, such as a platform like eBay or Amazon or even Walmart online. Secondly, you're missing out on revenue altogether from those shoppers that make the purchase decision without having that physical interaction.
So in light of this analysis, we've constructed our strategy, the online toy box. This has two key aspects. The first aspect is surrounding your website. You need to have your own Toys R Us website that links very seamlessly with your physical stores. This will be done in two ways. Firstly, you need to cater to the needs of the parents in the online stores, which are surrounding convenience and information. And secondly, you also need to cater to the children and what they are looking for within an online store. The second aspect of Online Toy Box is surrounding a loyalty program to foster a deeper connection between your physical stores and your online stores, ensuring that you're not becoming the toy library that Amazon is leeching off.
There are two different stages in the implementation of our strategy Online Toy Box. We recognise that having an integrated and multimedia website, such as the one that we envisage for Toys R Us Online, will take some time and incur significant costs in its setup and implementation. Therefore, immediately within Hong Kong, you should partner with existing platform providers such as Amazon and eBay. You are missing out on revenue from toys purchased on these websites altogether by not having a presence there, and therefore losing revenue opportunities. They are also top of mind when customers think of purchasing something online, and they do already have strong brand awareness. By partnering with them in the short term, you can start to gain on the revenue that you're currently missing out on. Long term, however, it is crucial that you have your own Toys R Us e-commerce platform. This is because of the importance that Toys R Us places on maintaining and controlling that emotional, exciting, vibrant, and most of all, fun interaction that customers have with the Toys R Us brand. You also want to provide them with the convenience and optionality that they desire. You'll do this through having a similar omni-channel offering to the one that you provide in the US. eBay, Amazon, and similar online platforms will not enable you to develop your website to have that full brand communication and excitement that we see as being integral to Toys R Us, nor being able to provide or develop the services, optionality, and convenience that Toys R Us's online strategy requires. By having your own website linked to loyalty benefits and having a range of flexible options, you can start to develop customer loyalty to the Toys R Us brand, so that when a parent sits down and decides to buy the next Barbie online, they don't think about going to Amazon and eBay, but they instead see the benefits and reasons to shop at Toys R Us online. That was an overview of our strategy and analysis. We'll now pass you on to Matthew, who will walk you through the financials.
Thank you, Hayden and Victoria. So to begin with, I'd like to look at the costs of our long-term strategy, starting with the cost of implementing our website. This includes a $20 million spend on the kids portal. We see this as a large spend, as there will be a multimedia content that needs to be developed, which we focused on trends in the toy market, including linking up with movies and trends in the kids' interests, and along with spending money developing the web pages associated with delivering this multimedia in a fun way to kids. At the same time, this kids portal will give suggestions to parents who will be shopping through the Parents Shopping e-commerce portal. This cost associated with the Parents portal is $10 million. This will be in developing the e-commerce shopping cart and seemingly linking this with the kids portal, along with linking it back to the loyalty program. The loyalty program will be linked to this online website so that parents can make purchases in-store and online and receive the same benefits. While at the same time, when parents are in-store, they can tag products in which their kids find interesting, and they can link back to the online platform so they know what their kids are interested in and can either buy it online or come back to the store and purchase it in the future. At the same time, they can tag something online and then work back into the bricks and mortar stores. This means your loyalty program will be the link between the offline and the online world. At the same time, it is important that you can deliver the goods that are sold through your online platform. This is where we have implemented a live inventory system so that your company knows where the stock is at all times. For this, we see that you will need to develop an extensive IT system so that you can know when stock is in store or at your warehouses and know if it is in the store closest to the customer. Therefore, when the customer wants to purchase something, they can easily ask the store attendant or look online to see if the stock is in their store or if it is in the neighbouring store and it can be easily shipped to their favourite store. And this will work the same to your distribution centres. Part of this is a rollout to all the stores, as I have mentioned. This will be implementing the software at each store, along with giving stores iPads and training the store assistants so that they can tell the customers about where the stock is and use the iPads to find the most up-to-date information and help the shoppers know how to get their product at the right time and immediately, fulfilling their demand. This will see total spend at $70 million US. We understand this is a lot to spend, so I'd now like to see how we can recoup these costs. Our focus firstly on Hong Kong. This is a mature market where the toy industry is well established and there is a slowing growth in the toy market, and we estimated this at 2% annually. This will see that we have firstly estimated the toy market currently at 306 million, and at a 2% growth this will grow to 2019 to 337 million. We also estimated the percentage of online sales to be currently at 10% and growing 1% yearly to 15% in 2019, seeing the online market increase to 50.6 million. If you can, in the short term, capture 10% of the market in 2015, you can get $3.4 million of revenue in this year. This will be through our short-term strategy of partnering with existing platforms such as Amazon and eBay, so that you can quickly establish a presence in the online world. Then you will complete the rollout of our website in 2016, therefore seeing another jump of 10% of your online share to 20% of the online market. And this will continue to grow as you implement the website at 5% a year to a 35% market share of the online sales of toys in Hong Kong to $17.7 million of new revenue from this online input strategy. At the same time, we don't see this hurting your offline bricks and mortar stores, as we see that your offline market will still grow to $286 million in 2019. So assuming that you maintain, if not increase, your market share of bricks and mortar sales due to the linkage back to the website and the ease of parents finding goods, you will not be hurting your bricks and mortar sales. I'd now like to look at how you can recoup the cost of implementing the IT systems further through implementing it into growing markets. For this, we have chosen China. China has a growing middle class, and the toy market is growing rapidly. Over the next 5 years, we've estimated an annual growth rate of 10%, which will increase the market to $62.5 billion US. You already have a presence in the online marketplace for toys in China, and we have estimated this at 15%. You will see the rollout of your online store commencing a few years later in 2016, and this will therefore increase your market share of online sales to 35%. While at the same time the online market is growing in China as increasing internet connectivity along with the increasing demand for e-commerce in China. This means the online market as a percentage of the overall toy market will have grown from 5% to 15% in 2019. Therefore, the revenue from your online sales will have increased to $3.2 billion. If you didn't implement, this is an additional $1.87 billion compared to if you didn't implement our strategy and you continued with the current platform strategy, which had a 15% market share. I'll now hand back to Hayden and Victoria for implementation of our strategy.
Thank you, Matt. So just to recap for you, our strategy, Online Toy Box, has two key aspects. Those are your own personal website, as well as the loyalty program that we seek to implement.
We'll begin by detailing a little bit further about what ToysRUs.com in Asia is going to look like. Customers will be greeted with a welcome screen which will be as vibrant and colourful as the Toys R Us brand, from which they'll have an option to choose to go to the adult portal or the children's portal. Adults value convenience. They are time scarce, and therefore when they click on the adult portal, we want it to be still vibrant and colourful, but slick and informative. Within the homepage of the adults portal, there'll be information on educational toys, as we see this as being a key interest of the parents. There'll also be information about what the hottest and top selling toys are for both boys and females in different age ranges. As you've previously experienced, the marketing efforts to adults fall flat on their face, as adults do not have the time or interest in exactly what the hottest toy is. By providing them the information as to what the top sellers are, they can quickly and easily log onto your website and buy a toy that they know their children will be satisfied with. There'll be similar information services provided to people that are providing gifts to children. People that want to buy a birthday gift can quickly log on to ToysRUs.com and select a range of appropriate gifts for both male or female within different age brackets. Within the children's side of the website, we see this as being fun and interactive and trying to link that emotional response that children have when they enter your physical bricks and mortar stores to the experience that they have when they visit ToysRUs.com. We will create a series of games based around the top selling toys at the moment. They'll play a game about their favourite Barbie character or Lego or X-Men anime. This will help drive brand awareness and their desire to own that toy. At the end of the game, they can gain loyalty points, depending on how well they've played or how many points they've earned. This transfers back to their parents' account in order for them to achieve discounts on your goods. There'll also be a number of exciting links to information and physical worlds of their favourite characters, again increasing loyalty and driving both parents and children alike to go to ToysRUs.com instead of another rivaling platform.
And just to expand further on what that loyalty program is, it will be an extension of your existing loyalty program. However, instead of having a loyalty card, your customers will now have a loyalty profile that will be administered online. They'll be able to register their children, so when their children log in to the children's side of the Toys R Us website, they're able to access all the loyalty points that the parents and children combined have accumulated. When a parent purchases a product from Toys R Us, whether that be in-store or online, they receive the loyalty code, which they can enter either manually or using a QR code on their smartphone. Additionally, when in store, parents will be able to scan the barcodes of your Toys R Us products, which will be able to create a wish list that they can then view and purchase from later when they're at home. As we already mentioned, the children will be able to accumulate loyalty points when they're playing the games, which will translate to discounts within Toys R Us products, as well as extra benefits within those games. So the children have an incentive to accumulate those loyalty points. When you are marketing this, you need to market Toys R Us as the home of toys. You play an important ground between the manufacturer of toys and the consumers of toys through your physical stores. Therefore, the loyalty program will help you foster the connection between Toys R Us and your physical stores and the online sales.
By having loyalty points linked to physical visits of your Toys R Us store, we also see this strategy supporting the physical stores as opposed to eroding or cannibalising sales there. We continue to build loyalty by maintaining that purchase decision. Come in and experience the toy online physically, before going home and purchasing it online. They'll have an incentive to do it online because they've gained those loyalty points in store. This needs to be supported by web IT and various infrastructure in order to make the delivery and execution work.
So we will see you execute an IT system very similar to what Macy's has, that you know exactly where all your products are because they have a specific code that is centered within your IT system. This means that it will be integrated within each store, so you know exactly the inventory within that store and where popular products are and where every single product is.
This also needs to be updated with stock management technology. You will outsource this IT to a provider, to an IT services-based company that has experience with stock and inventory management. You'll also set up regional distribution hubs for delivery of these goods purchased online.
For the delivery side, it will be a very simple process. The customer purchases online, has the option to either have that sent directly to them or pick up at the local store. The IT system will then determine where the goods are best placed for packaging and distribution. Those goods will then be packaged at that place, whether that be in your store through a pick and pack method or at a local distribution hub. Those goods may have the option to be gift wrapped and they will be delivered by FedEx or a local courier company.
The timeline behind our strategy is relatively simple. You need to spend at least 4 months further developing and fleshing out exactly what ToysRUs.com is going to look like and how it's going to work. Then you'll partner with an IT service provider to develop and build that website before entering a 2-month system testing phase. You'll then launch and market it heavily to inform the Hong Kong market about Toys R Us online and about the new loyalty service offerings. From there, once our strategy is a proven success in the Hong Kong market, you should set a range of criteria in looking into what Asian countries you should expand online toy box into next. That was an overview of our strategy. We'll now pass you back to Samantha for some risks and to conclude.
So we've identified a few potential risks with the implementation of the strategy and the steps that you can take to respond to these and to mitigate them. The first risk that we've identified is dealing with the seasonal peaks in demand. You've already experienced similar problems in China with your Tmall provider failing to be able to deliver goods on time during peak seasonal periods. In order to be able to mitigate these and deliver the best products to your customers on time, Toys R Us will need to plan ahead. This will involve identifying the key peaks and time periods where toys are in demand and where you'll need to increase your supply. Pre-planning means you'll need to adjust your inventory in order to have an adequate stock of the hottest selling toys for that season. Moreover, you'll also need to adjust your rosters for both your in-store and delivery services in order to be able to package these goods and deliver them out to your customers. For online sales, your website should also have a buy before warning, where customers will be told that if they purchase a toy before a certain period, they'll be delivered in time for that seasonal period, such as Christmas or Children's Day. The second risk that we've identified is a low take-up of your Toys R Us website. In order to respond to this, you'll need to reassess your in-store promotion strategy. This may mean that you may need to have a more aggressive and prolonged in-store promotion where you inform customers about your online store. You'll need to highlight a number of things. These include the additional features and benefits of your online website, which include online shopping as well as games and discounts for kids. Secondly, you'll also need to emphasize that your loyalty program works on your online system, which you can also redeem in store as well. So today you've asked us, how should Toys R Us implement an e-commerce strategy in Asia, and in particular in Hong Kong? Through our strategy Online Toy Box, we've shown you that you can do this through a dual platform approach and by enhancing Toys R Us's brand as the home of toys and driving customer loyalty. By implementing Online Toy Box, Toys R Us can expect to see an almost $18 million increase in online revenue in Hong Kong, but more than that, it will have established an effective and successful online platform which it can roll out to other Asian countries. 3 things that Toys R Us can do tomorrow in order to begin implementing its e-commerce strategy include, firstly, assembling a design team to design your new online Toys R Us website. Secondly, identifying potential existing platform partners in Hong Kong. And thirdly, re-evaluating your loyalty program and seeing how you can tie in your online website in order to synchronize with this. That was our presentation, and we're now open for questions.
Well, first of all, welcome to Hong Kong, and being a South African, I wish you much best wishes with the rugby tomorrow afternoon. My wife's British though, so. Firstly, for me, I think thanks very much. I think I enjoyed the presentation a lot. I think you categorised it into a good start. I think you hit me straight in the eye. You were going to increase revenue by 17.7 million, straight up. I like that as a businessman. So you sort of captured the size of the opportunity. I think that the talk about splitting the portal right up front to kids and adults again grabbed me. I like that a lot. I think you then got into a business model discussion, a little bit about how the financials are going to work, the market analysis, consumer behaviour. You touched upon that. So again, I think in terms of the homework you were going to have a look at, I think you were going definitely in the right direction. You blew me away with the cost. It totally blew me. And so one of the things for me is that if you're going to put $70 million in front of a board or in front of an organisation, I personally think that that was the one thing that I went, ooh. And you need to carefully bring me to the $70 million rather than ram it straight down my throat. So that was a concern, that at $70 million you need a bucket load of sales to ever pay that back. And to do that you had to bring China into the equation, where at the start you said you were talking about Hong Kong only. So China was going to make up the financial equation. Hong Kong certainly wasn't going to pay back the 70 million. So that was a concern for me. I think after that, the other thing that I'd like to question you on, as once my colleagues have made an introduction, is this whole seamless shopping experience between online and offline. I didn't quite get that this was a seamless experience. I sort of felt that you were talking about an e-commerce strategy, and then you were talking about an offline strategy, and the connections between the two didn't come across quite as strongly. So that's something maybe you guys want to comment on.
Yeah, so just to comment on that, it's not necessarily that it's going to be online is exactly the same as your physical store, but instead it's bridging the gap between, you have a physical store where the children are able to have a look at the toys, and then you can go home and buy it online. So it's not necessarily replicating, well, we're attempting to replicate a part of the physical store, but not necessarily like seamless as in it's the same experience, but seamless as in Toys R Us is the toy store, and you can also purchase from that online. Otherwise, we think there is a risk that people will go into your stores just to check out the toys and then find a cheaper price on Amazon.
Yeah, that's for me from now. So.
Thank you very much. And I guess a lot of the practical solutions or a suggestion from your presentation, which talk about a lot of the loyalty program and the points discount and how the kids and parents section, which is separately for the different target audience. I think this is the one point for provide a choice for customers to fit their needs. That's a good point. But yeah, I think the same question to me was on the investment and the projection of the sales. How do you get those assumptions or the projection, which is saying that okay, how we increase by X% and Y% after how many years in this way? Because it's very crucial in the decision making. Yeah, how do you get that kind of the assumption on projection for the Hong Kong and China case?
Okay, so our assumptions were based on, for Hong Kong, we estimated the current market value based on the number of kids, you may have seen that on the slide, and spending $500 per kid in the target market between 3 and 10. So that was how we got the initial assumption for market size. For China, we were given a market value already. For the growth of China, unfortunately, we had limited information for the financials, so we did have to make some assumptions. So there is some limitations to our financial analysis. But we based the 2% growth rate in Hong Kong on the fact that it's a mature market. Compared to a growing market such as China, with a growing middle class, and there was a growing consumption, especially in toys and products like that. So the growth rate was much higher. I think it was 10% a year for the toy segment in that market. We also had to make an assumption based on the internet take-up. So for Hong Kong, we assume there's already 10% internet spend due to the fact that people in Hong Kong already are using the internet, as well established in Hong Kong, and we saw a small growth of 1% of this. Whereas compared to China and other developing nations where connectivity is increasing and the spend on e-commerce is increasing, so we saw a lower initial percentage and an increasing percentage of 5%. Unfortunately, these are assumptions, but they're based on our best judgments, so there is some limitations to those assumptions.
Okay, but on the other hand, maybe I would like to see how you can make more in-depth explanation on that. How do you get to capture this kind of growth by your market differentiation? Because overall, I find that it's a website, it's an online business, but how did you develop the differentiation and get this or capture the incremental growth in the market? That will be the challenge.
So are you asking how to capture
How
the
to
growth
capture
of the
that,
market
yeah,
through the website?
for the website, for the growth on the business?
Okay, we see at the moment Toys R Us has a strong brand, in particular in the bricks and mortar stores. So through developing our website strategy, we see that this brand will enter the online space. And this will now allow people who recognize our brands in the bricks and mortar space to be able to now purchase products online, whereas previously they would have had to gone through a partner platform or something a bit different, or there was no platform in Hong Kong, for example.
Just to build on Matthew's answer, our whole strategy is geared around the fact that although parents hold the purse strings, it is children that nag them and drag them into the store and really sort of push them to spend the money on toys. So our strategy is geared around not only providing a slick, clean and convenient website for parents to use, but driving loyalty. And the most direct way that we're doing that is through targeting children, providing this online games platform which will get them to Toys R Us initially, as opposed to eBay or Amazon. And this is only intended to support your existing bricks and mortar stores. We recognise the real importance in that physical interaction, or my friend's got that Barbie so I want that one, or getting to sort of see the soft toy in store, and driving that child's desire to own that toy. So by having a loyalty program that crosses the bridge between both physical stores and online, we see you as being able to make sort of gain the largest share of that growth by sort of targeting the emotional response of children and then providing benefits to the adults so they come to you as opposed to a competitor.
Okay, then I think the key point is how to make good use of your physical store loyalty program, also drive them to the online and get back to the offline. That will be one solution. Okay, thank you.
Great presentation, well done. I think you're extremely well prepared, which is very good to see. I like the discussion about the supply chain, the competitors. I think that was very good. I think you were courageous in the way you talked about the third-party distribution, because I think there's some risk attached to that, but it's good to be courageous. This is a difficult subject and we don't know the future, so well done for the courage of being able to do that. Not with me, because I don't know anything about it, but with my colleagues who know a lot about it and will probably have strong opinions on that, so well done. And I also like, as Peter said, the granular way that you went through the capex and the cash flows. That leads me to the other point my colleagues have made, that I'm not sure, I thought the 70 million was eye-popping as well. Then you justified it with some even more eye-popping revenue numbers, so well done. That leads me to my question, which is, if you had a sense that we might have been surprised at those numbers, why didn't you talk about the synergies that you could gain both on the cost side and the distribution from the parent company?
Our understanding is that Toys R Us Asia was a completely separate entity to Toys R Us Global, and we want to maintain that relationship but not rely on it. So looking at Toys R Us US's online distribution and e-commerce strategy informed a lot of us thinking. We can see over there that an omni-platform distribution and online e-commerce strategy works really well. So what I mean by that is providing parents the choices to purchase online, pick up in store, purchase in store, have it delivered, and so forth. So we did leverage on Toys R Us US and Toys R Us Global very heavily in looking at what has worked within the US markets. However,
because Toys R Us Asia is dealing with completely different geographies and consumers have different preferences within the Asian markets, we didn't want to rely on them, and we wanted to first try and see if we can achieve success for Toys R Us on your own, as we believe you can in this market.
I may have misled you when I said parent company. I actually meant Lee and Fung.
Lee and Fung would be a very obvious distribution partner. We see FedEx as perhaps doing some of the door-to-door delivery, but certainly where toys need to be distributed from, whether it be Singapore to Hong Kong or from US to Hong Kong, we certainly see leveraging our existing relationship with Lee and Fung and their expertise as being a door-to-door service provider of distribution and transportation services as being a real key advantage to us. Sorry for the confusion.
Let me finish. I think the first, I'd like to say two things. The first thing is that coming out of New Zealand and picking on a Hong Kong market is a challenge, and so I forgive you guys for making certain assumptions, and I concur with my colleague here. You were brave enough to make calls, and you communicated it very, very clearly. Whether the facts were correct is irrelevant to me. I think you made some really good calls. I think the second thing for me is I'm going to go home tonight with a very good idea, and this whole thing of having a dual portal is fantastic. And I think you hit the nut very, very quickly that the consumer and the customer are very different, and clearly trying to do that online is the biggest challenge anyone's ever going to have, and I think there are some good ideas around that, so congratulations on that. And I think the presentation overall was fantastic. So well done. Congratulations.